But in light of that, once we give reins to those people that are passionate and in leadership, a community to be able to measurably progress itself needs to put in tools of measurement. You can't just say, as an individual, my salah is better. That's good for you as an individual. But at the collective level, you need to have a little bit more of a measurement, because how can you measure whether someone's salah is better? You individually know your salah is better after Muharram, but you can't tell that for 2,000 people, can you? So if a community wants to progress internally, the first practical thing that it needs to do is to make sure it retains the creme de la creme of its community, the passionate of its community, those who want to serve the community, those who have got ideas for the community. You don't always have to agree with them, but at least give people the space to be party to the community. And God forbid they end up coming on the Day of Judgment and say, I wanted to serve, but my ideas were never good enough. My ideas were always shunted to the side. This is one. Two, we have to make sure that a community has measurable targets. Here I'm going to be very, very specific with you in example, and I leave it again for you to be able to take away and start thinking about in your own ways, inshallah. The majority of communities I've had the blessing of visiting, in many, many of those cases, the leadership is often still micromanaging what is happening in the mosques. I know I'm coming from a Khoja background, so I'm speaking about presidents. In the Khoja community, the alim is not the head of the community. The alim is a poor employee. Yeah. In the Khoja community, the president, who normally comes from an elite family, he is the head of the community. Do you know how many presidents I see? May Allah bless them. They micromanage even down to the colors on the posters that go out. And I'm not exaggerating. If you're a president and you're still doing the posters and micromanaging the colors of the posters, there is something wrong. You should be the visionary of the community, planning the next 5 and 10 and 20 and 50 years of the community's progress. It is unfathomable that a CEO of a business is micromanaging everything on the floor on a day-to-day basis. But at the same time, it is unfathomable that a business doesn't have measurable targets month on month, year on year. We call them KPIs, key performance indicators. A mosque or a Husseiniya must too have key performance indicators to see whether the key elements of what it is trying to achieve is happening or not. The difference is, in a spiritual setting, the KPIs are to do with spirituality, akhlaq, and akhirah, more so than what business KPIs may be. Is that a fair point? If your KPI is, I want to see how many people come to the Muharram Majlis. Last year we had 3,000 people. This year our KPI is 3,500 people. Okay, let's say you achieve it. And what? Is that a measurement of the progress of the community? Is simply having more numbers a measure of the progress of a community? No. So in a Shia, Ithna Ashariya community, what would be your KPIs in line with our deen that would prove month on month or year on year that we can measurably see whether the community is progressing or regressing? What would they be? I'll give you one or two, but I'm going to ask for your ideas. Okay, so be prepared. I might pick on you. The most important one might be, What percentage of our community is praying salah 5 times a day? Would that be a fair starting point? As-salat umud ad-deen. Salah is the foundation of the entirety of the religion. In qubilat ma siwa. If it is accepted, everything else is accepted. If it is rejected, everything else is rejected. Is that a starting point? So imagine leadership amongst yourselves. People who are, but what did I say? Everybody has diversified aspirations. Amongst you will be people who are interested in data collection, data analysis. Yes or no? For sure, there will be someone amongst you who is interested in this, capable of doing this. It takes one person to get the data of the community and to ask how many of us are actually praying salah 5 times a day, and to see, as an example, it is only 20%. It is then the leadership's responsibility to increase that amount. That after 1 year, after 2 years, it is now 40% of the community reciting their salah 5 times a day. And so the programs, the education, the emphasis, the reminders of the community go into the KPI of salah 5 times a day. Can you see? It's not difficult, but that would be an evidence that between last year and this year, we've actually improved the community. Not random, we invite some lecturer, he comes, he says what he wants to talk about, she comes, she talks about what she wants to communicate. Where is the progress? Where is the measurable, discernible progress? How are we still living like we did 40 years ago when we first came to this country? In every other walk of life, we have people who are CEOs working for the top 500 companies in the country. But when it comes to the Husseiniya, we're still acting like we are in 1980. Doesn't make sense. I'll give you another measurable KPI that you and I can think of. Simple one. Maybe you can help me expand on this one a little bit. How many people are there in your community? Give me a number. How many? Is that right? Is there 10,000 people with Al-Khoi? What's the number? Okay, 3,000. What percentage of that is in poverty? Give me a number. Be realistic. 3,000 people in the community that this community immediately serves, Shia community. What percentage is in poverty, or worse still, absolute poverty? 25 to 30%. Is that a fair number? Is that a fair number? Yeah, that's 1,000 Shia in poverty. Meaning what? Out of a job, don't know where the next meal is going to come from, don't know if they're going to pay rent by the end of the month. Imagine a very simple KPI that said over 5 years, we are going to eliminate poverty in our community. It's not difficult. Believe me, there are enough of you who are entrepreneurial, enough of you who are, mashallah, given the rizq to be able to do so, who have enough opportunities to open the door, to be able to help pay off certain debts, to be able to help the youth with whatever they need to be able to get into better schools, to find better jobs, over 5 years, to lift them out of poverty. Imagine in 5 years' time, if we could say, no one in our community is poor any longer. Or we reduce the number from 30% of the community to 10%. Just imagine what you could do with that extra wealth and capacity within your community. It's not difficult. So throw some back at me. What would be a KPI that you would like to see for 1 to 5 years? I told you I was going to pick on someone. Oh, you can't use mine. The Islamic loan system, I like that. I don't know many of the sisters' names, so I know Sister Sayyida, so I'm asking her name. I'm asking her, what KPI would you want to see in the community? Say again? The amount of goals and jobs, roles and jobs in the community. What would that mean? What's that KPI? Okay, you're actually onto something if I understand what you're saying. But yes, please give us one.